What is going on, YouTube? It's Coffee. Tapping back in, man. We got a lot of NFL talk. Buffalo Bills. The season's getting closer to the playoffs, man. And Ron Mexico. If you know, you know. We're going to get to it. So just hang tight with me for a moment. Hit them buttons. Jump in the comments. Let's discuss it all. But the Buffalo Bills got a big matchup this weekend. I didn't make any content last week after that loss to the Rams. What a game that was. Shout out to my guy, Jay Millie, big Niners fan. You know, he was like, Coffee, y'all beat us bad, right? We need you to beat them Rams. We need it. You know what I mean? As the Niners are, it's a crazy season for them. This is a Super Bowl team, and they're struggling. Will they make the playoffs or not? I keep saying I think they're gonna. It's crazy over there. You know what I mean? The division is still up for grabs. As you see, the standings, tiebreakers at play within the division and stuff like that. Like, sorry, Millie. You know what I mean? I definitely wanted my Bills to beat them Rams. But it's so crazy they can win the division, but the wild card spot not looking the best for the Niners. And I don't know, you know, the division is just not looking so good this year. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Let me know your thoughts about all that. The Bills, like, what a crazy game it was last week. Josh Allen, 6 touchdowns, just offense rolling, putting up crazy numbers. Defensively, you know, it was like a trap game for the Bills. You know what I mean? Like, coming off that big win that we had, and everything that's been going on with the team to go out to the West Coast. And, you know, the Rams, the team we definitely should have beat, right? But they were coming off getting a lot of guys back, those receivers that they had. What was dude's name? Puka. Yeah, Puka Nakua. That dude was all over the place. Cooper Kupp. And, you know, the Rams aren't a team that I've followed so closely, but from my understanding, that was the healthiest they've been, having a lot of individuals back at one time. And, you know, they just got active quick, and we were playing catch up. And it came down to the very end. You know, it was what it was. Onside kick attempt. What are you going to do? You know, congrats to the Rams and the Rams fans. But here is another big game, right? And this is against a team. Bills are actually coming into this underdogs.
On Kyle starting his take in Mad Minute with a question, so I'm wondering what he is thinking about with this Bills-Lions matchup. Akbar, you have to start, but when you're ready.
Okay, I like this game a lot, and I'm going to just go ahead and call it. I see that the Lions defense is going to surprise the Buffalo Bills, and I think they're going to attack in a big way, and they're going to end up with the victory. It's going to be a defensive matchup. The main event will be on the defensive side.
Is this the Super Bowl preview?
Here we go.
Is this it? Is this the meaning of life? Is this all I am watching in this game is the Bills defense? What do you got? We did not like what we saw the last time we saw. Is this a Super Bowl defense? Because I know you're going against the Super Bowl offense, and I know you have the league MVP. Bills defense, what do you got? Good luck whoever gets buzzed this time. Peter, go.
Last week I came on Thursday morning and I was like, you know, I feel like the momentum might be shifting towards the Packers here after that Thanksgiving Day debacle at the end that they just barely. No, that Lions team answered the bell. I don't think the Lions have anything to worry about. Keep on rolling. Keep on doing what you do. Keep on being consistent. Do not take the foot off the pedal, Detroit.
Yeah, if you're the Bills, you're going against a #1 scoring offense in the NFL, so look forward to that defense trying to go against that offense.
Oh, man.
You got this segment has stakes. I like this.
Healthy, but starting now, like right now, they're healthy. I'll start with Keon Coleman. You're seeing him right there, the standout receiver for the Buffalo Bills, really promising receiver, battled a wrist injury the last several weeks, has not been able to play, has been a full participant all week. I'm anticipating him playing for the Bills. Dalton Kincaid, their standout tight end, similar situation. For him, it's been a knee injury, a PCL, has missed several games, also full participant all week. Another player I anticipate being out there, so Bills should be at full strength. Okay, what about the Lions? The Lions also are nearing full strength. Taylor Decker, their left tackle, one of the very good left tackles of the NFL, full participant with a knee injury. He also is slated to play. And then Aleem McNeil, the big money defensive tackle for the Lions, he is coming back from a concussion. He, too, was a full participant. So, see, Jamie, nothing but good news from me today.
Week in the NFL with a lot of different betting implications and ramifications as a result. The Lions are currently a 1.5 point home favorite against Buffalo, and we'll see what the injury report holds for Detroit. They're going to get anybody back on the front seven. Detroit, 1.5 total, as you might imagine, in a game with these two offenses is at 54. Josh Allen is currently minus 400 to win MVP. The Bills are underdogs this weekend. Does anyone think this is right? Maybe you do. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think about Lions-Bills and different offshoots of the result of the game based on your opinion of it?
I think the Lions are going to score. I think that's pretty likely here. Lions matchup is exactly as well as the Rams do against the Buffalo Bills defense. That I guess maybe it's fine, but maybe it was a little bit unfortunate that they were exposed that badly, and that everyone is going to kind of realize exactly how to rate the Buffalo Bills defense now. The cat's out of the bag, so to speak, on that being a problematic unit. And I think the Lions can dictate here. It kind of just depends on if their defense can do anything. And I mean, the onus is on the Lions, not just to score on every drive, but to have like some 10-minute drives, right? Like it can't just be go score. Like you have to also play keep away. And that's a little bit of a dicey proposition. I think that the expectation of getting any healthy bodies back on the D-line seems hopeful to me. If I had to guess, I think there's going to be a lot of who's out there for the Lions on the D, and I think that in general, this is a unit that has kind of put up clear top 5 numbers throughout the season, but right now ought to be ranked. Let me see what my rating is for the Detroit defense, 23rd, with some of the missing pieces, particularly up the spine there. So I will kind of monitor this one pretty carefully in concert with the with the injury news that trickles out for the Lions on the defensive side of the ball. But if you made me make a play right now, my numbers would say back the Lions, as my fair price for this one is, my fair price for this one is 1.3. So, and my fair total for this one is 53. So if I had to make a bet on this one, I guess I'm playing under 54, and I hate myself for it.
Yeah, so I think the Lions are in a good spot as the 1 seed. They're 12-1. They lead the Vikings though only by 1 game in the NFC North, and Minnesota does go to Ford Field in Week 18. So the Lions do need to keep winning games. Plus, the Eagles are right behind them, 1 game back of the 1 seed. So yeah, this is a huge game for the Lions, not just for the division, but just kind of seeding in general. And now it's kind of an awkward spot for the Bills because you lose last week 44-42 to the Rams. Chiefs win another game in Week 14. Now the Chiefs have a 2-game lead against the Bills. I know the Bills do have the head-to-head over KC. There's only 4 games left. This is a tough game for Buffalo. Buffalo does close with the Patriots of 2 games and the Jets. So even if they lose this game, they probably win out. But then the Chiefs would have to lose multiple games. And I don't know if you watch the Chiefs, but they just find ways to win. So I don't know if that's going to be the case for Kansas City where they're going to drop 2 or more games. So it does feel like Buffalo is kind of going to be a 2 seed. Hosting a wild card weekend might not be the worst thing, but obviously Buffalo would have loved to have a potential AFC title game against Kansas City in their own backyard instead of going to Arrowhead, where they've had a lot of tough playoff experiences under Sean McDermott and Josh Allen in the past. So I guess this game might mean a little bit more for the Lions, but in terms of, I think, Buffalo off a loss, they're going to want to play really well and kind of go all out for this game, especially with some favorable matchups down the stretch.
Yeah. Lions are a 2.5 point favorite with an extremely high total of 54. How are you looking to bet on this game?
Yeah, I kind of like the Bills here to bounce back. I was hoping to bet +3, but if it doesn't get to +3, I'd be fine with the money line. I know the Lions have been awesome this season, but last week we saw them close +3 against the Packers. A lot of that was kind of like the current state of the Lions defensive line with so many injuries. Yeah. They might be getting some guys back next week, but I still question the Lions defense in general. It's a defense you could attack through the air. And I just think Josh Allen is going to win that matchup against a Lions secondary in perfect weather in Detroit where, they're going to keep rolling. And they rolled against the Rams offensively. They didn't win, but Allen accounted for 6 touchdowns himself. So I can see some success from Buffalo's offense in this game. I know we're going to probably get a good performance from Detroit's offense, so it should be a fun shootout. And in a game that would be really fun to see in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, especially 2 franchises who've never won a Super Bowl. I'm going to go with Buffalo here in their regular season meeting.
But it's the game of the week. Buffalo, Detroit. Anything stand out to you in this one, be it a side, be it the total?
Gosh, the injuries on this one. That's the Detroit injuries are just stacking up.
Yeah.
And I think I'd like the overs here. I think I had to, we're forced to pick every game for RotoWire on our staff picks column. And so I took the Buffalo side. Give me Josh Allen catching points. I'll take it. Why not? Give me the over on the 54.5. I don't think it's going to be like a smash play, but I do think that both sides are going to score a lot.
So you hear all that there, man. Bills getting back. It's looking like Keon Coleman as well as Dalton Kincaid. Keon, man, dude had really been coming along this year. Like, I love the way Keon balls, man. Made some amazing catches this season, and it'd be great to have him back if we indeed do. Also, Kincaid, hell of a tight end. Dawson Knox has been filling in for Kincaid. It's so crazy that Kincaid is a guy that was drafted behind Knox. Like, Knox is his senior as far as the NFL goes, and Knox was a solid tight end, but Kincaid passed him up on the depth chart, and Knox kind of had to take him under the wing in a sense, even though he surpassed him as far as who's going to start. They've said like Knox is still giving him pointers and schooling him up, and they got a great relationship. I mean, listen, the Bills, there's one thing, since we've broke the Super Bowl drought, since McDermott and Big Baller Bean have been in Buffalo, although when McDermott first got here, Big Baller Bean wasn't here yet. We didn't see the McBean era right away. But since we broke the playoff drought and everything, that's one thing about this team, is the morale. Like, it's a family. The vibes is righteous. Everyone's got each other's back. Kyle Williams, who was the leader, it was his last year when we broke the playoff drought. I'm sure everyone will remember that, him celebrating with his family in the locker room after we beat the Dolphins that game. He had a touchdown. I think they put him in at fullback or whatever in a short yardage situation the week before. I think they had him play tight end or whatever. I was crying tears of joy. I hopped on Twitter. A lot of other people were as well. And then we saw Dalton throw that amazing touchdown to beat the Ravens. We got the help we needed. Bills were in the playoffs. We should have actually won that game against the Jaguars, but it went how it went. But the point is like, he was a leader on that team, and with him and a lot of those guys that aren't there anymore, right? They passed that kind of vibes down, and it's remained, and it's been nothing but great vibes amongst the team. And I'm just, this is it. I really, truly believe this year the Bills are going to do the damn thing. And this is a big game, man. You hear the Lions, 1 point favorites. Some Lions have them at 2.5 point favorites. Like, betting is a different thing. Obviously, the spreads come into play, but you got the money line and all that. A couple of those clips that I'll share with y'all. Comment everyone out there if you're betting on the game or not. But, some of those individuals were saying, hey, the Lions are a team, they're still fighting for seeding. As the Bills, we still are as well, man. We need that number 1 seed. A couple of years ago, we were supposed to have it, but, that tragic situation happened, and, things went how it went. We're 2 games back, but we do hold the tiebreaker over KC, and I don't know, you heard the one dude talking about KC finds ways to win. I've seen a lot of other Chiefs fans shook that the Mahomes and the Chiefs aren't having the magic that they once had. As y'all seen what happened when they came to Buffalo, they just got shut down. It was a decisive win by the Bills, but both teams with a lot to play for. Some are saying this could be a potential Super Bowl preview. Bills and the Lions, I definitely could see that being a possibility. But one dude was saying, hey, he sees the Lions being a team that matchups wise kind of is going to be the same, the way they match up with the Bills as we saw against the Rams last week. That'll give the Lions a big advantage in this game. But then you heard someone else saying, man, no, the MVP, Josh Allen. Tap in, everyone, and let me know if you think he can and will win the MVP this season. Again, 6 touchdowns last week. I mean, we lost, so it doesn't really matter, you know, and Josh ain't concerned with that. But he really has been just putting up crazy numbers this year, very dominant performances, and has kind of found that missing element that he had as far as being a little safer. You know, like I think Josh Allen just fully is the total package right now. Like on some Lex Luger Monday Night Wars vibes, and he just continues to get better. But you know, the one individual was saying like this is like Josh Allen is gonna pick apart this secondary. It'll be an interesting game, you know. Like I feel confident the Bills can win, but hey, any given Sunday, you know, everyone tap in, comment, let me know what you think about tomorrow, your thoughts across the board, period, about everything. But this is where we got to get to that Ron Mexico news, man. You see Eric Moulds, former Buffalo Bill, being sued for the same type of ish we heard about Michael Vick, right? Ron Mexico, I'm sure a lot of y'all remember. If you didn't in the beginning, that was the name pseudonym, you know, that Michael Vick went under, and, you know, is tied to him giving women the H, right? The herp. And let's just keep it real, man. Like, seriously, everyone, be honest. Do you know a lot of people with herpes? I've shared this before, that when I was coming up, so many motherfuckers around the way had the herp. It's quite scary. They say more adult Americans have the herp than don't. Some just carry it and don't even have symptoms or whatever. Some be having outbreaks and still are out trying to pass it around like it's a gift and this is the giving season. It's Christmas, right? Like, what the fuck? It's some sick, twisted ish. And, you know, Michael Vick was sued for that, I believe, right? And here we are with Eric Moulds. I'm like, damn, man, Moulds has been away from Buffalo for the longest time, Billy Joel voice. And I'm like, why is this just happening now that he's just getting sued now? Well, allegedly, with the lawsuit, this happened in 2023, as Moulds lives in North Carolina, I think, and he was chopping it up with this unnamed anonymous woman who was suing him on Instagram, right? I guess she's got the receipts. He slid in her DMs before he slid the herp up in her, and they talked a lot. You know, he was spitting game to her, and how many celebrities have we seen outed with the DMs, man? It's like, that's messy if you are out doing that type stuff. And, you know, she said yes to this all expensive paid trip to come chill with Moulds, and Moulds was laying the smacketh down on her. And then his pregnant fiance hit her up and said, listen, Eric's got the herp, he gave it to me, and now you got the herp. And this is so wild because, like I said, I knew so many people that had it, and there were situations like that where I'd see a dude, right, who was playing 2 girls at the same time, and I saw this type of situation happen so much where I would hear them both talking about it. Like, the one girl would be like, every time I get my period, I get such a bad outbreak, and the other girl, you know, was like, man, I thought when such and such hit me up telling her that, you know, her dude who was cheating with me, and I thought he was my dude, or he was cheating with another girl and she didn't think he was her dude. She just knew that she was cheating. It was just a big old mess. That's why you always got to strap it up. Males, females, be safe, man, because there was a lot of ish out there. And I always tell people who come down with the herp, it could be much worse. You could have the HIV. You know what I mean? Now they got all these commercials about the HIV, the medicines and stuff. It's a crazy time we're living in. But it was crazy. The dude that I knew, there'd be all this talking about all this going on, and he'd be like, them bitches is lying. I ain't got nothing. And I'd be like, nah, man, they ain't out here. But that's what I was saying. The one girl was saying, she was like, when Shorty hit me up telling me that dude had it, I thought she was just mad, knowing that dude was cheating. But no, he really did give me that thing, man. And it's just like, scary shit, man. That's why I was always glad I was pretty much monogamous. But when you're in a monogamous relationship, the one that you're with might not always be monogamous, right? And it doesn't matter if it's only one time. If it's raw dog on them ODB, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw vibes. it only takes one time to sleep with someone who's sleeping with these other same people, and then next thing you know, it's like you done slept with 15 people raw. It's crazy, man. But back to talking about Vic here, and Eric Moles. The attorney saying, we're going to beat this. These allegations are false. I mean, listen, with the pregnant fiance being involved, I don't know if she is still involved in the case within the lawsuit. That's going to be hard to beat if the girl suing Moles has the pregnant fiance, you know what I mean, on her side. If she does, that court testimony is tough, but I'm guessing Moles probably will have her on his side by the time that this goes to court. And the girl suing him said that she, turned down some hush money and all that. And it's so wild, man. Eric Moles was said to have 15 kids or something like that, or 18, 14. I even heard reports that when the Bills played in certain states, Moles was shook to go because he had back child support. And I actually knew someone who was married to Eric. Their sister was married to Eric Moles, and I think another sister was dating Josh Reed, who was actually another Buffalo Bills wide receiver at the same time. Eric Moles was a beast, man, but off the field, he was known for getting active, right? Having a lot of kids, as the Bills had a few players like that. I think Lynch had 5 kids when he was in Buffalo, allegedly. I don't know if that's true, but I do remember Travis Henry, Buffalo Bills running back before Willis McGahee. He had 13 kids and ended up going to the feds for trafficking cocaine. And when they were like, yo, what are you doing trafficking the yayo? You're a running back. You're a millionaire. He was like, I owe child support. I got 13 kids, and it was crazy. He had to go do a bid and everything like that. And I remember when he came home, I chopped it up with him on Twitter a little bit. Very humble, chill dude. He had learned lessons the hard way and stuff, from being a pro athlete to going to prison. You know what I mean? It's we've seen with a lot of athletes that they just be out there getting around, I guess we could say. And, when you ain't wearing protection, it can go bad on that Ron Mexico type time. So it's pretty crazy. Eric Moles accused of giving the herp out, according to the women, specifically to Bills fans, right? I guess she's saying he gets on social media looking for Buffalo Bills fans to go hit him raw and give him the herp. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Will this be settled out of court? I don't know. But one last update about the Bills that was surprising to me. My guy Lon the Don was telling me about this. He said, Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady are part of an ownership group that bought the Bills. And I was like, wait a second, no way, because Terry Pegula and Kim, thank God for Terry, who owned the Sabres and bought the Bills at a time when, after Ralph Wilson passed away, it was up in the air. Could we lose our beloved franchise? What's going to happen, And we saw Trump trying to get involved. We saw Bon Jovi with some group trying to get involved. We saw Delaware North, which was a food vending company that worked in the Buffalo market, the Bills, Sabres games and stuff. And I think they had some kind of piece of ownership in the Boston Bruins, right? And if they wanted to buy the Bills, they had to sell the Bruins or the piece of the Bruins that they owned, or the whole thing. And I think they were like, hey, we'll sell and we'll buy the Bills and we'll keep them in Buffalo, And at the end of the day, here came Terry Pegula putting up $1.4 billion to buy the Bills, which I think now they're saying is worth over $5 billion or something like that. And at the end of the day, this news is true, but what the deal is it's minority owners. So they just own a piece of the Bills. Terry and Kim still own 79% of the Bills. This group paid $920 million, and they now own a piece of the Bills. Terry and Kim still run-ish. This was approved at the owners' winter meeting, which everything's got to be approved by the owners. That was another narrative that was going on when the Bills ownership was up in the air was, hey, just because someone might want to buy the Bills and move them doesn't mean it necessarily will happen. The owners have to approve this. I don't know if it was unanimous or majority rules type thing, but there was a lot of people thinking, well, maybe, not all the owners will be with it. And, it was just terrifying, as I love my Bills. Bills Mafia, we love our squad. And, thank God for Terry and Kim. So this is just something going on. The Dolphins did this as well at the same meeting. Let some minority owners get in on the team a piece. Who else? The Eagles. What up, Donna? The Eagles did as well. And we already know, like, Brady did this with the Raiders, which, remember that whole fiasco, where Brady was supposed to play for the Raiders. It didn't happen. And there was that whole situation before where Brady was trying to own a piece of the Dolphins. And this was going on when he was still in the league, active. And there was that whole tampering thing that went on or whatever. It was crazy, man. But, that's all that it is there's a lot of teams allowing these ownership groups to put their money together and buy a piece of the team. So I don't know. There you have it, man. Something new going on in the NFL, but that's all that it is. My bro Lon the Don, I was like, wait, what is he talking about? Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady, they bought the Bills? No. You know what I mean? Nah, they bought a piece. But one thing that's being mentioned about this is, Vince Carter's ties to Toronto, which is part of the Buffalo Bills market. And, I hope to goodness hope to God that they don't try to bring back the Toronto series, that one home game a year in Toronto. It was a mess, It was worse than these London games. The turf wasn't righteous. People were getting hurt. We essentially gave up home field advantage for a game. It was just whack. And, thank God they stopped it, man. So that's going to do it for this one. The Herps, Ron Mexico, Bills, Lions, minority owners. Let's talk about it all in the comments. Subscribe. Look forward to chopping it up with y'all. Go Bills. Game day tomorrow, guys. This is our year. We got to bounce back and get this W.